welcome, my name is aichanbot. I'm a dedicated Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling streamer mainly on Twitch, but from time to time we are also making YouTube videos, and today we are going to show you another deck list. And it is one deviation of my favorite decks, which is the Desperado Barrel Dragon coin flip deck, and we have already shown you the version with Master of Destiny, and we have shown you another version with Cyber Dark Edge for the people who doesn't have the Master of Destiny skill. And now we're coming up with a third variation, also with the skill Master of Destiny, because it just grants you three coin tosses head guaranteed, which helps a lot. And this variation will be the Counter Coinflip deck with the counter trap to summon the Divine Passion. So let's go into the deck. Yeah, I like coin flip deck, that's why we are making 3 videos about it. So I hope you enjoy it too. So if you have Master of Destiny and already the Desperado Barrel Dragon from the structure decks from before, you can make this deck within no time. The Master of Destiny, as explained again, when you toss a coin, the result will always be heads. For the first 3 coin tosses, the skill will only activate if you begin the duel with a deck that has 5 or more cards with different names that require coin toss. That's why you need a lot of coin toss cards within your deck. And to summon the Desperado Barrel Dragon, you already know from before, another machine monster has to be destroyed, then the Desperado Barrel Dragon will be summoned from your hand to the board. That's why you have, for example, the Twin Barrel Dragon in your deck, and the Blast Spider, and also the Dikoichi. And for the Misjudge, I will explain a little bit later. For the Arcana Force, it also stays the same. You basically keep Arcana Force on your hand in case you take like battle damage or something. You can drop the Temperance or the Arcana Force Temperance to just nullify the damage calculation. Sometimes you can also tribute summon it if one of your cards is kind of locked down, and then you can toss a coin again, half the battle damage you take, or tails half the battle damage your opponent takes. But usually you just keep the card on hand to prevent yourself to taking battle damage, because sometimes this deck can break, especially if you don't draw the Barrel Dragon. You have only 1 Twin Barrel Dragon left in this deck and more, and the Blast Spider. The Blast Spider usually helps you like tribute 1 face-up other dark machine monster, which could be, for example, Twin Barrel Dragon or a Blast Spider itself, or for example Dikoichi, and then destroy a monster which is face up on the side of your opponent, and then the opponent will also take burn damage from half of the attack points from that monster which was destroyed. So Dikoichi is actually also pretty clear, I think. You put this card usually into face down. If it's flipped up, you get to draw 1 card, and then you just mill out another additional card from the deck. The same goes for the Desperado Dragon. If it gets destroyed or somehow put into the graveyard, you get to search for another card from your deck, which is mostly like a monster. And now we are going into the extra tilt of this deck, which you haven't known until yet, which is not known for the usual Desperado Barrel Dragon deck. So the Misjudge. The Misjudge will work together with the counter traps and the Rebirth of the parshath and the Ultimate Providence, for example, or also Debunk and Wiretap. It will really help you negate any kind of effect monster which is coming to the field. So, for example, its opponent card effect activates can be anything. Can be a monster summon, can be a monster effect, can be a trap card, can be a spell, whatsoever. You can just toss a coin before that effect resolves, and if it lands on heads 2 times, you can just negate it. So basically you can negate everything with Master of Destiny in the beginning. So if you summon a Misjudge to the field on first turn or on second turn, and you still have like your guaranteed heads from the Master of Destiny skill left, you just negate everything. Just negate the shit out of everyone. That's a lot of fun, actually. I really like it. Yeah, she has been working for me a lot, that's why. Looks grim though, but it was very fun. So now going into the counter trap card. The core card of this deck is not only the Desperado Dragon anymore, but it's also the trap card of Rebirth of the Passion. So every time you can activate Rebirth of Passion to negate whatever spell, trap card, or monster effect, you have to show your opponent another counter trap card in your hand, And then you can activate the Rebirth of the Passion, negate whatever your opponent is doing on his side of the field, and summon the Avenging Knight Passion to the field. So otherwise you would have to synchro summon this, but with this card you don't have to, you don't need tuner whatsoever. And once per turn you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and change its battle position. And if you attack a defense position monster, you do piercing damage, so inflict piercing damage. This card, it's super busted too. So those guys work together, and for the Rebirth of the Passion to go off to resolve, you need a lot of other counter trap cards. So that's why we have one wiretap, one debunk, and a lot of ultimate providences. Ultimate providence, for those people who doesn't know that card yet, it's for the older box, so some newer players might not know it anymore. It's from the Selection Box 1 or the Crimson Kingdom. And basically, if you have Ultimate Providence set as a trap card, whenever a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated and you have one of those cards in your hand, like you have a spell, trap, or monster card, you mostly have like monster or trap cards in your hand. So if you're lucky, you have a couple of it in your hand not used, but that's very unlikely with the Masters of Destiny Counter Coinflip deck. But basically, if your opponent uses like a trap card or a monster effect and you have another trap card or monster in your hand left, which is very likely, you can drop that card and resolve the Ultimate Providence to negate whatever your enemy is doing there or trying to do. Yeah, and that basically, the parshath, the Ultimate Providence, completes your deck. The debunk is when a monster effect is activated in the hand or the graveyard. This is good actually for mirror matches. So when a Berry Dragon should be summoned from the hand to the field by special summoning because a Dark Machine monster was destroyed, you can use the debunk and stop your enemy from summoning his Desperado Dragon, which is really helpful. And on the other hand, you have the wiretap. So when a trap card is activated, you can just negate the activation, and if you do not destroy that card and resolve its effect or putting it to the graveyard so your enemy could get it back, but you shuffle that card back into the deck. So mostly the effect of some trap cards cannot be resolved since they do not land in the graveyard, but they just straightly go back into the deck. This is basically the Drowning Mirror Force for trap cards. Nice, right? Sounds awesome. And the last two cards are the Cup of Aces. They are mandatory, you cannot skip them. They are basically the core of any Desperado Berry Dragon deck because they help you to draw 2 cards. And since you have guaranteed 3 hats guaranteed in coin tosses, you will always draw 2 cards if you start with Cup of Aces in your game. And that's why I actually love this deck. It's not a big brain deck, I have to say. I think it's also not really a beginner's deck, I would call it. It is somewhere in between. It's pretty fair to handle with, and especially if you have already the other versions of the Desperado Berry Dragon deck, you should definitely try out this one. It's a lot of fun. You can negate the shit out of everyone out there on the ladder in tournaments or whatever you are playing with your friends in duel rooms whatsoever. And this is also the deck which I think wrecked the KC Cup like in just some weeks ago. If you have any questions considering the deck, please post below in the comments. We will try to see what we can do. The same goes for translations of the deck explanation video. And now enjoy gameplay and see you next time. Bye bye!